Hey, Ordocker Nation. Wanted to give a shout out to all my students that have worked really hard the last 2 weeks on the school forest site. What I'd like to do before we take a break from this hybrid learning is kind of give a virtual tour of everything that they've done, because I'm super proud of them on everything that they have been doing and are doing. And right now we got some really awesome things to kind of show you. So I'm going to take you guys on a little bit of a tour to see what we've been up to, see what we've been working on, see why Mr. Keenan's so busy, and we'll take a look here. Right now, we're standing on the corner of the playground and football field. And so like right now, there's the football guys practicing. I'm going to take you guys down the trail and we'll take a look at our woods and the site that we're working on right now. After that little intro video, we're back. I'm going to try to hopefully put it so you guys can kind of see what's going on. I got you hooked up on my head right there. You can kind of see the on top of my head right here. You can kind of see that. Okay. So the school forest trail, you can park over there in the parking lot next to Northland College. You can see the science building back there. You can park there and then walk in right here. There's another opportunity for parking on the other street over there behind the football stands, and we'll get to that when I walk over there. This is the opening and the entrance. We did a really good job knocking back some of the weeds and some of the brush. A lot of buckthorn in this area we're trying to mitigate and work through. This is the first classroom. I'll take you off of here so I can kind of explain a little bit. So right now we have benches that are set up to be about 8 feet long, and we're going to have a 5-foot distance in between each bench. If we were to continue hybrid learning, we could definitely do social distancing. There was talk about potentially doing a fire pit out here. Northland College is checking on it. We have that dug out just in case we're able to do it. We started cutting up firewood. That was something that was cut when we dropped the trees to prepare this area. We got 2 more benches to put up on this site, and then we would be kind of ready to go. But that's kind of an idea what the benches are going to look like. I need to carve out a little bit more on this side over here. The side over here, that area needs to be carved out just a little bit more. The other side was done a lot better, but we're going to continue working on that. Typically don't run the chainsaw during class, just to kind of keep kids safe. Even though I'm chainsaw certified and all that stuff, it's just best to kind of keep that with the kids out of the area when we're doing that. We raked up all the leaf litter over here, and that's a really good fire starter if we ever were to do outdoor fires on here. And like I said, Northland College is kind of checking on that. So our trail kind of continues down here. One of the things I learned about trail design is you don't want to have a straight trail going straight to your features. You want to kind of have it meandering and kind of make it somewhat curious, so when you walk into a corner, it's like walking into a big room. And so here's an example of a major feature that you kind of see coming around the corner. There's these massive cottonwood trees down here that will be a site that we will kind of focus on. This will be our 4th classroom. We currently have 2 established outdoor classrooms, sort of. The one on top that I just showed you is called the White Pines. That one is pretty much ready to go. Then we'll do the river bottoms next, which is where we're headed to right now. Then we'll have one up on the prairie above the Switchback trails on the east entrance. Then we would have one here amongst these giant cottonwoods here. Here's our boardwalk section. One of the things that I know teachers will not be so fond of bringing students down if they're bringing back muddy shoes into the classroom. So we were able to use some of the tech ed budget to get some lumber. We had 12-foot 2x12s. There's 46 of them that were delivered down here. These are all carried in by students and myself. And so the goal is to do 267 feet of boardwalk through the bottom here where it sometimes gets wet. Right now it's pretty dry because we haven't had a rain spell in a little while. But we're just going to kind of take a little tour down through here. This was stuff that we worked to establish last year. We kind of redesigned and reorganized the trail a little bit. It used to go right along the stream bank there, but the problem with that is if you go too close to the stream bank, eventually it will become eroded. And so you try to find cool features like this giant willow tree that has fallen over that is still very much alive. This will be our cool feature to that. With a short person like me, you don't have to duck too much. This was very thick coming through when I came down through here. So the thickness that you see here is something we fight every single year with the buckthorn. Buckthorn really can't withstand the heavy snow that we have in Wisconsin, so we have to open that up every single year. So currently right now we would still be in boardwalk section with the students building that. And that's going to end at this flag here. I have some flagging here and it's kind of hung in specific reasons. If it's a double flag, that's usually the start or end of something. If it is a flag that is tied into a square knot, that means that that tree will be removed. If it is just looped around, that would be a trail marker. So we come up here to the ravine. This is more the east side. Right now, the football field is right above us, and the street behind the football field, this waterway comes right down off of that. We'll take you up there in just a second. We're gonna walk back down through here. So here's a flag. It's a loop flag, which means it's marking out something. This will be our, there's gonna be like a 24-foot bridge we're gonna put in through here over top of this waterway. Something that we're gonna design and build. And even with the virtual, that's actually something we're gonna design and build through Google SketchUp. We'll be able to do some cool bridge building and design stuff with that. Back here where we're walking to right now is the classroom side I like to call the river bottoms, because it is the lower portion of it. There's a big fat squirrel over there. So this is the river bottoms classroom. We have some benches that have already been split. Once the white pine classroom gets all the way finished, we're going to work on developing this, setting up benches and kind of get things set up down here. This is the lower part. If you're kind of looking at a map, there's the apartment buildings that are right up here behind the football stadium. That's kind of where we are right now. The Northland College property goes maybe about another 100 yards that way. And eventually we'd like to make a loop that goes to the end of the property and then comes back up on top. Kind of comes through there, but haven't quite got there yet. This is stage one of a larger community project. We would like to make this somewhat of an interpretive trail, outdoor education center. That would be kind of a really neat thing. And the City of Ashland, the Ashland Parks and Rec, Northland College, and Ashland School District are working together to eventually take a trail from the elementary school to the middle school following the ravine and Bay City Creek. And we would like to potentially take it from Ashland Middle School following the Bay City Creek ravine all the way down to, it's basically going to come out by the Ordock. So here is the switchback section. We're doing the switchback section because we want to eventually make this as close to ADA compliant as we can. So we're going to be zigzagging back and forth on the hillside here, and it will be more of a gradual incline and decline coming down the hill and going up the hill. This is an area where I'm super proud of the sixth graders. Sixth graders have done a lot of work on getting this section ready. There was some trees, there was a tree root system right here that got taken out. You can see that they're starting to bench in the side of the hill. That's actually some of the language and terminology we're going to be studying here on this online learning, is some of the vocabulary from the U.S. Forest Service Trail Building Guide, where they can do a partial bench or a full bench trail system. Here is, every single time we cross this ravine and waterway, we'll probably have some sort of wood structure. And this is the very final part of the switchback that kind of swings around this way, then We'll go over the top of these rocks. We'll have some sort of bridge. This was all work done by 6th graders using hand tools, and they did a really fantastic job. So we're not working so hard on our ankles, and to make it more of a pleasurable experience as we're traveling down here. So they worked on digging this out, making everything loose. We brought some rocks over there to make a foundation along the edge of the trail right here, and kind of made it flat straight across like that. And we made a new entrance on this side, because before it would just shoot right straight up the waterway, which made it somewhat of a bad design and a bad idea, because when you travel up a waterway, you're going to increase the erosion factor. And so we opened it up and brought it into this big open prairie area right here. We're kind of thinking that we would make this a native prairie habitat up here. And here is the entrance on the east side of the trail. There's the football scoreboard. There is the stands for the Ashland football, and so it kind of enters in this corner down here. We have a new entrance that we cut in the very beginning of the year, and kind of made this new trail entrance. But I'm really proud and very happy with the work that the Ashland students have been able to do. You guys are amazing in everything that you've done. And maybe someday we'll get back to this. We'll have to play it by ear. I want everybody out there to be safe, and make sure that you are squeezing your loved ones a little extra tighter, and making sure that we just get through this. I don't think that this thing will last forever. I think that we just have to kind of work together and try to make it through so we can survive till the next year. But thank you very much, Ordocker Nation. I love you very much. I think that it's almost time to go home. Have a wonderful day.